with the Denver Broncos. Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. Here's Hayne to return. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
At their own 23-yard line.
First carry for the Oklahoma State man, Chuba Hubbard. And he'll take it forward for about 5 up to the 28-yard line. So a nice run right there. And worth mentioning, their usual starting running back out this week. The hope is it's just a short-term absence. But this is where it pays, Charles, to have a quality reserve that you can turn to when you need it.
And to me, they definitely have that, because this is a guy who's more than capable of picking up the slack. And he's likely going to see a big share of carries as this one progresses. And how many times do we see running backs jump into the breach and have big games? Well, that certainly has to feel good. And it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. Second down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there.
That's a very nice game there. A confidence-building run. Love the execution up front, and the way he pressed the hole, absolutely perfect.
Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 right at the 40. Play fake. Here's Love. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Kenny Moore. And the Colts are going to take possession of the football as they force the turnover on the opening drive. It's no secret he's had trouble this year with interceptions, and this is a bad start for him. First drive, throwing another pick.
No matter who's broadcasting his game, that's how the conversation begins. Throwing too many interceptions. Can he take care of the football? If I were his backup, I'd be edging towards the coaches and saying, hey, how about giving me an opportunity?
First carry now for the former Badger, Jonathan Taylor. And he's got some space here. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. A big play there. Pretty explosive run on that inside handoff. And when you're a runner of his caliber, you don't need a big crease.
You really don't. But also what we're seeing is an offensive line that's taking charge at the point of attack, aren't we? Not only are they controlling the initial contact, they're actually utilizing what they call the strain, the next 2 to 3 seconds, to continue to move people.
Back to Taylor on first down. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. 47 yards rushing for him now in his first 2 carries of the ball game.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
Escaping the pressure right, and he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. They've already been on record as saying, hey, if our rookie quarterback's going to tuck it and run on a scramble, we kind of hold our breath. Well, that was a maybe no, yes, as he's able to get into the end zone.
Are you saying he's got to learn where the line is about whether you keep your eyes downfield, try and find a receiver, or you tuck it and go? And I think there's going to be some growing pains with that. I think in this case, he made the right decision.
And we know he's got the speed. He showed it there. Here's Hayne to return. And out a little across the 25 to the 27.
At their own 27-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and that'll bring up second down. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. On second down now, it's Hubbard. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be third down.
Well, you know, this club, there were some reports earlier in the week, and most have heard this by now, the so-called unnamed sources that were saying all is not rosy in that locker room. There's whispers that one or two guys, CD, have kind of had enough of how things are going and have been going. How would you handle that as a coach?
Well, you and I both know all the coaches that we've dealt with and come in contact with. They'd love to get their hands on those unnamed sources, wouldn't they? But they know that that's not possible, so I think they've got to go in there and make sure that this isn't a distraction. They also know that once the grumbling starts, it becomes a slippery slope, and it's hard to stop the fall. But I think you need to sit some guys down and say, hey, look, we're still hoping to be a playoff team this year. We need you guys to be bought in with what we're doing. Come on, let's get on board.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw.
They'll fire one downfield for Fant. That one tipped, and it's incomplete. Well, good hands there defensively. It's second down.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
On second down, here's a run with Hubbard. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
On 3rd down, Love.
They'll fire one downfield for Fant.
It's caught inside the 25. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
And they'll run on 1st down with Hubbard. And not much to speak of there. Maybe a yard down to the 20.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
On 2nd and 9, Love. This is caught. Touchdown! Noah Fant hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Broncos are an extra point away from tying the football game. Extra point from McManus is good.
And that will tie our score here in this opening quarter of play.
So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Indy offense at the line and set to go.
Their dreams of an undefeated season shattered with the loss a week ago. Now, look, whenever an undefeated team goes down, you always hear some say, well, they needed that. I don't know, Charles. Is that a narrative that you buy into?
Well, I haven't met a coach yet that feels like they needed that loss. You know, that's not something that they're in favor of. But I do know this. People like us, our colleagues, all of us in the media, constantly hammering a team that's undefeated. Hey, do you think you can do it the whole season? Can you carry it the whole way? That does wear down a group, and sometimes that loss get us off your back. You can move forward from there.
5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
back to throw. Sampson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
And this is what you want to see from a defense. Give up an opening drive touchdown, that's fine. But how about them going back out there, recommitting themselves to the task at hand, and forcing a 3-and-out and giving the ball back to their offense?
That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And the Broncos take over, first down and 10. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they come in losers of 2 straight. And remember, they've got the open date on their calendar next weekend. But you think it's vitally important, Charles, that they focus on the task at hand here?
Absolutely, because these players, they know what's coming up. And the difference between taking time off following a win versus doing so on a 3-game losing streak, that's absolutely huge, because they may come back if they lose this game to a facility, and there may be new faces in there and some teammates lost.
These two teams all tied after 1. Second down, another chance for Hubbard. Ooh, with a juke. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 44 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
First down, they'll stay on the ground with Hubbard. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. Second down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Second and 8. To throw now. Here's Love. He's got his big tight end, Fant.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
From the 32 now, here's first and 10. Play action this time with Love. He'll dump this one off to Hubbard. And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
On second down, it's Hubbard. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
On second down now. It's Hubbard. And once again, this Colts defense stops him behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
Sometimes being a linebacker in the middle of the field is kind of like being a doctor on the field. You got to make the right diagnosis. Here he correctly sends his run and shoots through to make the play in the backfield.
He's got his tight end, Fant. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. Great mix of play calling so far. 3 runs, 3 passes. All 3 passes have been completions. First and goal.
I think on defense now, you have to almost take a chance. Rely on your scouting. Pick a play you think they would run here and just load up for it and see what happens.
They'll run here with Hubbard. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
Hubbard again. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
And now 3rd and goal coming up, the loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder, and they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
Line of scrimmage at the 4. Here's 3rd and goal. Well, now they'll try the end around. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. The kick by McManus is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So they wind up turning the turnover into points as they convert there for 3.
Yeah, that was a nice job there to force the fumble. They recover, hand things over to their offense, and then the offense went down and got them 3. That alone, that's not enough to win a game, but both units able to do their jobs on these last 2 drives.
At their own 23-yard line.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked so well, and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
8 yards to go on 2nd down. Looking to throw. Sampson eluding the pressure right. And he wisely will throw that one away.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Back to throw. Sampson. And it's hauled in by Austin Hooper. And he is going to have a Colts first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds him for the first down.
Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
Throwing on 1st down. Sampson. This one hauled in. Again, it's Hooper. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Here's a run on 1st down that won't even get back to the line of scrimmage. He will lose a yard. 2nd and 11. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Sampson. It's caught by Hooper. And he'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Sampson. And this is incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions. 3rd down here and 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range. So now you don't take any unnecessary risks, but you try and find a way to get back to what you were doing earlier in the drive in order to finish this one off.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And this one is incomplete.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive gets them 3, not 6.
Is it okay if I give credit to both sides on this one?
Absolutely.
All right, let's start defensively. They hung in there. 10-play drive. They stiffened when they got close to the goal line, made them kick a field goal. And for the offense, 10-play drive. They might be a little disappointed they got a field goal, but they moved the ball down the field with dispatch and came away with points.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
And they've got a little over 40 seconds to work with if they want to try to put something together. They'll run the screen with Hubbard.
And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Love. That is taken in by the tight end Fant. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down.
And that was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver. Although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
On 1st and 10, Love. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Kenny Moore. Past the 20. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Colts TD.
That was a nice catch, and not by the guy you thought it was going to be. How about the defender turning into an offensive player as soon as the ball hits his hands? And off he goes, off to the races, and into the end zone.
Extra point by Blankenship is up and good.
And that makes it a 17-10 score.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away.
Here's Hayne to return.
And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
And they'll take over with just 16 ticks remaining before intermission.
Love back to it here after the pick six.
Oh, he'll air this one deep for Judy.
And it looked like he got the feet down, did he? Yes, it's a catch. And all the way home for a Broncos score.
He's been doing this for a lot of years with the arm strength still there, and he showed it off on that one.
And as that ball was hanging in the air with the receiver streaking downfield to meet it, here in the stadium, you could just sense the crowd thinking, oh, no. And their worst fears were realized as that one turned into a long touchdown.
McManus's point after is good, and we are tied here in the second quarter. (17-17) the score. All even to this point as the kick's away. Taken in at the 3. A final shot before break. Sampson. And he'll let this one go deep for Chark. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 14. And he will be brought down on what will be the final play of this first half. So thanks to the late touchdown, it's a time ball game here heading to break. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
With both of these offenses having their way, it's not likely they'll need to be doing a whole lot at halftime. But the defenses are definitely in need of some adjusting. And for the call of the second half, let's go back out to Brandon and Charles.
Yeah, Coach, certainly no shortage of action in those first 2 quarters. Definitely got to work on my touchdown calls, so we'll see how much voice I have left for the second half here.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Indy offense at the line and set to go. The interception on the last drive proved costly, led to the tying score, so 17 all as they come up on a first down. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
A quick throw complete to Chark. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
Well, you don't turn your nose up at a gain of 4, do you? They'll take that on first down. Playbook's got to be pretty well open on 2nd and 6.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. From the gun, it's Taylor. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 70 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon. So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 46. Back to throw. Sampson gets this to Campbell out on the right side. 7 yards the pickup there.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football. So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Flush to his right, and he'll just get rid of it.
Well, the passing game right now for them, not overly impressive. Last week he hit on right at 50%. This week he's under 50%.
And it's not just on him. Protection, a few breakdowns along the way. That's made him get off the spot. Receivers not getting their way open downfield. The coverage has been awfully tight. They've got to all get together and find ways to make this passing game get in gear.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
But they're getting ready to go to work now in prime real estate after that last run. Found his spot and picked up nice yardage, didn't he?
And now he's got him knocking on the door of the red zone.
On 1st and 10,
Sampson. Got a man complete. It's Taylor. Touchdown, Colts. Jonathan Taylor with his 16th touchdown of the year. And the Colts have taken the lead as they go right down the field and score on the opening drive of the second half. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And they will take a 7-point lead. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Here's Hayne to return. Now a hit and a loose football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy, because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
On 1st down, they'll start out with Hubbard. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
A good run, got 7 on 1st. Here's 2nd and 3. They'll run with a backup. This is Williams.
That was a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Love now. He gets this one to Hubbard, complete. And now the ball's out, fumble near midfield.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. They'll run on 1st down. Hubbard, and he's going to be stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. Nothing there for him. 2nd down. He's already fumbled once in this game, and I thought the ball started to jostle there a little bit, but they got to him quickly at the line of scrimmage.
They sure did, and remember, if you're not a very confident runner and you've already dropped it once, if there's traffic around you, the only thing you think about is protecting the football, not gaining yards.
On play action, Love to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Now Love. He'll let this go deep for Sutton, and that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
So on now is Brandon McManus. He has hit from as far away as 57, but that was in Denver. They spot it on the midfield stripe, so it is a 60-yard attempt here. And McManus able to put it through, and that'll bring him back within 4. So the response to that touchdown on the other side to begin the third quarter. Look, just 3 points, but still a response nonetheless.
You're exactly right about that, because I think you needed to answer back with something, even though it's not 6. Just enough to send the message that says, hey, we're not going away.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a beat on you, maybe you mix it up a little bit, a little play action and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that balance? Time to find out. Still 9 remaining on second down. Looking to throw. Sampson. He gets this into the hands of Taylor. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
One of my old teammates called me the other day when he was watching the game. He's like, man, trying to watch an NFL game and trying to account for their passing game, that's difficult. And just when you think you get everything covered, here comes a back out of the backfield. And in this case, he picks up a first down.
And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Second down, another run with Taylor. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a third down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The Colts on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Back to throw. Sampson. The open man is Shark. It's complete. And he is going to have the Colts first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And that certainly appears to be a critical conversion right there, because not only do they keep the drive going, they take valuable time off the clock as well. They have to feel really good about that last completion.
1st and 10, Taylor now. Shreds the tackle. He takes it down to the 42, a 5-yard run.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters. No reason to lighten up now. That one complete. He finds Shark. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard. They'll go with a keeper. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first.
I don't know about you, but I like this call. 3rd and inches, and instead of worrying about getting it back to a running back and maybe there's some penetration from the defensive front, just go ahead and take it, move forward, and pick up the first down.
And as we say often, shows confidence in your offensive line. On first down, it's Taylor. And some space here. And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. Jonathan Taylor, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Colts look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And that pushes the lead up to 11. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And you figure after giving up that last touchdown, they trail by 2 scores here in the 4th quarter. This drive becomes very critical. They'll start on the ground with Hubbard. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Off the play fake, Love. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete.
Timing is crucial in any route thrown, but when you throw an out, so many things are going through the mind of the receiver. Catching the ball, timing it up with the quarterback. Are my feet going to get down in bounds? On that play, all those things going through his head might have caused him to drop it.
Love with it here, 3rd and short yardage.
I'm not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because it nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Now they go for it on 4th down, but that pass is knocked away and incomplete. The Broncos unable to convert here on 4th. And the Colts are going to get the football in outstanding field position. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now a give to Taylor. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31.
I'm sure that's going to be the formula. Just keep the ball on the ground, keep that clock moving.
And when you have the lead this late in the game, above all, stay in bounds. Yes, take care of the football. Yes, gain yardage, but stay in bounds and let that clock tick.
2nd down, another run with Taylor.
And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone.
140 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ball game.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10.
They give to Taylor out of the gun.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that.
And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. It's picked up by the Broncos. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door ajar, 2-score game, so hold on here, not done in the fourth. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They trail by 2 scores in the fourth, and their defense did its job getting the fumble recovery. Time to see what this offense has left in the tank. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. And that is incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Out of the shotgun, it's Love. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And he's got it. What a catch on the sideline. A huge play there for Denver. In today's NFL, we talk about quarterbacks and their speed and accuracy, but there's still something about a guy slinging one downfield. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a 1st down in the red zone. Again, it's Love. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Whew, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Love from the gun. And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
Now the question is obvious. Do you try to kick the field goal right here knowing that you need 2 scores? I would be thinking about it if I were on that sideline. Get the field goal now, try and get the touchdown later.
On 3rd down, Love. They'll find Sutton on the right side, complete. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. The kick by McManus is good, and that'll make this an 8-point game. So he remains perfect, 3 for 3 in the field goal department.
And it's so important for any offense to have an ace like him up their sleeve, isn't it? Because now you know what his range is, and as soon as your offense gets there, you're pretty much counting on 3 points going up on the board.
So the field goal got him back within 1 score, and now the focus lies on this onside kick. And the Colts are going to recover the football. And that should be enough to get them home. A big mistake in that spot. You got to let it go 10.
They didn't give themselves a chance. They had an opportunity, touched it first. Now they're in a really bad spot.
On the handoff, Taylor able to push his way through. And past the 30 down to about the 27. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. Another yard would probably put this thing in the books. It's 2nd and 1. They go to the ground again with Taylor. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. Now the Broncos will use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. One final kneel down here as it comes inside the 40-second mark, and that should be enough to put this one on ice.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
And the kick is good. So you wonder how this one might be remembered the next time these two teams meet. But until then, this game's over. So this one winds up an Indianapolis victory. And this coaching staff, CD, I think you'd agree, pleased with this overall effort.
Oh, I think they're more than pleased, right? They've got to look at each other like, wow, we just pulled this one off in a big way. Great job of motivating, even better job of game planning. They were facing a top 10 defense, so they had to make sure that everything was buttoned down, and they had it ready to go, and their guys executed.
Yeah, they were concerned not only about moving the ball through the air, but also on the ground, but both really started to come in sync. So for the Colts,
the victory moves them to 7-1 on the year.
And they will hit the road next week to take on the New York Jets. Meanwhile, for Denver, they fall 2 games under 500 now at 3-5. And they'll take this loss into the bye as they'll be back in action in Week 10.